Do you want to know the 3 secrets to success as a real estate agent? Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm Danny Batsalkin, real estate broker, business coach, and former attorney. And on this channel, we talk about the things that are important to you: real estate, business, and finance. So if this is a topic that you're interested in, I want to ask you to go ahead and hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you're not already one of our awesome subscribers. All right, you guys, so on today's show, I'm so excited to welcome my good friend Harma Hartouni, who is a real estate business owner, team leader, and real estate agent, and he will give us all of the tips and tricks that have led to his success over his years in real estate. He talks about all kinds of great stuff that you are not going to want to miss. All the links to everything we talk about on today's show are in the description below. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and chat with Harma. Enjoy the show. Hey, what's up, you guys? Danny Batsalkin here. Welcome to another episode of Danny B Live. And today, you guys, I'm so excited because I have an awesome guest on the show. He's just launched his own YouTube channel, so we're going to promote that heavily. And let's go ahead and welcome to the show my good friend, amazing entrepreneur, real estate business person, Harma Hartouni.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me, Danny.
So Harma, thanks so much for being here. We're really excited to chat with you. Of course, our channel, we talk about real estate, business, finance. My goal as a coach and an attorney and a real estate broker is to help you build a business that's predictable, profitable, and fun. Harma, we're going to talk about all of those things with you. But I recently watched the channel trailer for your YouTube channel, which is called the Harma channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
And I loved it, man. And I just thought it'd be great for us to start by you just telling our audience your story and where you came from and what you're doing now. I think it'd be fantastic.
Well, thank you for having me. I started real estate 18, 19 years ago, and I had no intention to get into real estate or be a broker or grow to be where I am today. I wanted to be a dentist to basically, make my family proud, because in my culture, if you're not a doctor, engineer, or attorney, you're a loser. So, and then I got into real estate because I just couldn't leave the way we used to. We didn't have financially, we couldn't afford anything. And I was the oldest, and I have a brother and sister, and my mom, we all moved here almost the same time. I moved to the United States first by myself at the age of 20, and then at the age of 21, they moved, and we were all living in a very small place, and I just couldn't. I was going to be a dentist, and I just couldn't continue 7, 8 more years of debt and not be able to work, and who would support them? So I asked a real estate broker in Glendale, who's a mentor of mine, and he is like a father figure for me, helped me. I got into real estate. And he asked me to sell real estate. I was just an assistant. And it was not long after that I sold real estate. My first home that I sold was on a Christmas Eve to a person, which I'm writing a book is in it. She came to the open house, and her boyfriend just came out to her as a gay man. And she was devastated, and she was very angry. And Christmas Eve, she walked into my open house, and we had dinner, and I sold her the condo. And of course, I didn't tell her I was gay, because I was like, I don't think it's the right time. Let me close the deal first. And that was my first transaction. And then I just loved it. And I quit dental school 6 months after, and I joined Keller Williams 3 years after. I sold 21 homes on the first year in real estate. And the third year I was with another company, Keller Williams, and my life changed. I became a team leader, manager, and then operating principal owner. And that's it. I've been very lucky. Harder I work, luckier I got,
That's awesome, Harma. Hold on. I have to correct you though a little bit because, so I grew up in a Russian household, as you know, and there's only 3 kinds of people, 3 kinds of kids in a Russian household. There's doctor, lawyer, or piece of shit. Engineer is nowhere there to be found. So I don't know how engineer made its way.
Engineers are a big deal. Engineers were the ones that my mom said, he will always bring money, and you will live in a nice home, and your sister needs to marry an engineer. I'm like, oh my God, can you believe? I mean, selling homes to engineers and attorneys is very difficult.
It's the worst. It's the worst. None of them watch my show because I make fun of them all the time, so don't worry
Because they
about
know
it.
it all.
Of course, of course. Well, Harma, what an awesome story. You know, I do want to go back to like something you very casually glossed over, which is, you know, I sold 21 homes my first year. Not a lot of people do that. In fact, most real estate agents fail, as you know. I think 87% of real estate agents fail within 5 years. And, you know, the average number of homes people sell is way lower. So let's go back to year number one. How did you sell 21 homes your first year?
I did open house every single weekend. I was not allowed to sell single family homes. My broker didn't allow me. He also had a lot of condominium projects, so we focused on the condominiums. And I remember I was a new agent, so I wouldn't get the best projects. I would get the end of every shitty project because all the good ones will sell. And this was the good times, and everyone was selling real estate. And I was learning English, I was in school, and I was selling condos, and I was a full-time assistant. So on the weekend was the only time I was allowed to sell homes, because during the day he wouldn't allow to go show homes because I was helping him. And what I did, I studied every condo that was for sale in that area, in the city. I visited them, I memorized their homeowners association. So every time client came in, I had 3-4 different type of stacks of MLS sheets with my data. So if I would ask them, what are you looking for? What is it, when, what, and how big, and homeowners association fee is this much, are you comfortable? And as a condominium expert, you kind of have to know if you can rent the property later, is there litigation on the building, and is a corner unit, first floor, second floor, front, back, all that. So I memorized all that. So if they said what they're looking, I knew exactly what properties for sale that day, which city, which corner of the city. And at 4:30, I will have to finish my signs, and I will have to run and show the properties. I did only buyers the first 3 years. I never had a listing. I didn't realize listings are important. And honestly, I was determined to, I don't know, I can't say exactly one thing, but I knew the market. So any buyer was like, that guy knows that condo. And I made them feel like I'm going to represent you like no other agent will. And at that time, a lot of agents were throwing money towards the buyers. If you buy with me, I'll give you this. I didn't even go there because I didn't know there was an option.
Imagine that, Harma. You worked hard, you knew your marketplace, and you had good results.
Yeah, I mean, who knew, right?
It's crazy. And you didn't have to give discounts or rebates or anything like that, right? That's
yeah,
wild.
I didn't. I'm glad I didn't know. You know what I mean? So if you don't know that you don't know, that's actually a good thing sometimes. So
For sure, 100%. So Harma, another thing you mentioned when you were telling us your backstory, and thanks for sharing that, is that you mentioned, you know, one guy in Glendale was kind of like a mentor, and then you worked for a broker and stuff like that. You know, since part of this show is coaching, and I'll give my shameless plug for our program and stuff. I'd love to hear about from you, like what role coaching and mentoring has had for you along the way on your journey.
I have a lot of, I never had no coaches or mentors even. So I personally had him help me. I had Mike Ferry, which is a real estate coach, and very, as you know, but most maybe people who are watching this one don't know, Mike Ferry is very cold turkey, cold calling, nothing else matters. And then also I had a therapist that has grown to be my coach every time I get off track or I made an emotional decision. So, and people are ashamed to share that they had a therapist. I had it for 9 years. Every Tuesday or Wednesdays, I switched dates, $110, and now it's $180. I can't afford not to because keeps me back on track. I come with a lot of difficult childhood, and I believe your past creates an habit And then as you get older, you do that and assuming it's okay. So I wanted to make sure I'd never reinvent the wheel. So I always had some capacity. I had a mentor that has done a better job that I can follow them and just copy them. I remember my broker when I started real estate, shout out to Albert Babayan. I used to follow him and drink and eat. He had Perrier every day. He had a Cobb salad at Crocodile Cafe, but by the way, shut down a long time ago. But every single day, same thing. I hated the bubbly Perrier. I hated the Cobb salad with the cheese on it. But I ate it because I was like, if I eat this, I will look like him. I will do everything he does, and I will have his GCI. And I did the same thing with other mentors. So even today, I have a coach that is my transitional coach, not physically, and who helps me transition from one business to another. What business do I need to shut down and help with my, so he's focusing on, he's not in real estate, but he's helping with he leads a lot of people in politics and doesn't have to be specific in real estate. So I believe no matter what business you're in, if you don't have anyone to coach you, and you are your own coach, and your business is not growing, or in other words, is shitty and you just don't want to admit it, you gotta fire yourself and hire someone, even if it's for 6 months, to help you self-discover what you need to do that you're not doing. So that's why I value your YouTube channel, that you can help coach them, you can tell them, but if they're not willing to change, and you're all like for free, you're out there, you're helping. And it's a very big deal, because I noticed that there's only 7% of producers and effective people in any business that have a coach. And everyone else, they don't, because they say, I can't afford it. You can't afford a top coach, but you can start from somewhere and build it up. So I don't know if I'm answering, but I'm a very big believer on coach. And he's not the same coach last 10 years. It really evolved. I think your coach's job is to help you evolve, that you fire them.
Yeah, Harma, I mean, I couldn't agree more. And thanks for saying that. It's interesting to me, I watch a lot of sports documentaries, and the Michael Jordan one is on right now. And it's like Michael Jordan said something in one of those episodes where he said, if my coach, Phil Jackson, isn't coming back, I'm not coming back. It's like, that's how important it is. Right. And that's crazy that you said only 7% of people, of high producers have that, because across all industries, people use coaching and all that kind of stuff. By the way, you mentioned what he drank. So today, happy Cinco de Mayo. This is what we're drinking today. We got a little tequila going. We got two kinds of tequila today. We got Patron and we got another one. So we're ready to rock.
Can I have my Patron shot? Hold on.
There we go. There we go. Oh, see, you got it.
People will think this was planned, huh?
That's right. That's right. So, Harma, question for you, since you mentioned YouTube channel. I'd love to plug yours. We'll put the link in the description below. Harma, you've started a YouTube channel. Tell our audience what it's all about, why you're doing it, and what they can expect when they head on over there and subscribe.
Well, thank you for the shout out. I will be focusing on interviewing people that have done well, like you in the business. They are not necessarily just in real estate. I'm preparing for the month of May, focusing on foreclosures and short sales, and what does that mean? Because a lot of people, you'll be surprised how many agents that they're in real estate, and you ask them what is the foreclosure process in California, they have no idea. So I'm going to bring it to very simple, easy to understand any process. You don't have to know it. I didn't know, but you can't say that you don't want to learn, because we're going to make it available on the channel. I'm going to share some of the mistakes I have made, and going back, knowing what I know today, I wouldn't. As I shared with you, I don't think you should reinvent the wheel. You should copy someone else and become even more successful. So I'm going to share success stories so people can just grab and grow from there. And it's not going to be just, Harma Real Estate or my team. It's not going to be just LA. It's about variety of things. And and I'm going to focus on what I'm good at. I'm not going to give opinion or act as an expert in any areas. I'm not like, we won't be talking about stock market because I don't know anything about it. I can't touch it. I won't buy it. I have it, but it's not it was, somewhere else. I didn't personally. So I'm going to focus on what I'm good at and buying properties out of state. What does that mean? I bought it, the first one in Shreveport, Louisiana. Don't ask me why. It had to take 2 airplanes, and it was 3 people in the airplane when I landed, and that was the first sign that don't buy it, and I did buy 4. And I'm going to talk about why not, and talk about investment and where I'm going now in respect of if you're a real estate agent, what are you going to need to do to keep your money? It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. So I'm going to focus on that.
Awesome, Harma. Sounds good. So you guys make sure you go check out the Harma channel. Is actually launching today. The trailer is extremely powerful. I highly recommend you guys check that out and see Harma's guest. Very professionally done. He's wearing a suit, all that stuff.
I do have one, yeah.
Yeah, so it looks good. I like it. Good stuff. Harma, you mentioned something just now. You were talking about, you're going to share with people things that you've done that maybe where you failed or made mistakes and how not to do that. I'd love, maybe you could share with our audience one mistake that comes to mind and, maybe what you learned from that.
Well, I have a lot, sadly. Number 1 is, which I live by this, every time you're challenged, even if you're a personal relationship or business, there's a very magical questions that you should ask yourself. Knowing what you know today, going back to the first day, will you hire this person? Will you date this person? Will you be in business with this person? If the answer is no, you only have 5 minutes to end it. So I learned that if the answer is no, I'm going to help them, I'm going to help myself, and we're going to end the relationship, whatever that is. And I know it might be difficult, but recovery, it might be faster than you drag this longer. So that's what I learned over, and I didn't learn only on one first lesson. I learned it over and over. So who you're in business with matters, who you hire matters. So if you have the bus, but you don't have the right people in the bus, why would you want to go to any destination with them? So I learned that. And it doesn't make them bad. It just makes you and them not the same vision. So I just didn't know that. I was so committed to end result. I didn't realize I'm in the bus with the wrong people. So as staff, if you hire the wrong person, they can really affect your business. So it's not about who you hire the experts, it's to hire the right people. That's very important in my business, and that's where I am.
Thanks for increasing the divorce rate on our show here, Harma. Everyone that's watching is going to be like, all right, I'm out.
That's true. That's true. It's going to happen after COVID-19. So
I've heard. I talked to my buddy who's a divorce attorney. He's like, man, I'm getting calls left and right. As soon as the lockdown's over, I'm out of here.
But the nice thing about these divorces that I believe they will have an understanding. So they will agree before they see an attorney, because if they decided in March 30th that they have to get divorced, they still have to live with them until June 1st. So they kind of said, hey, listen, we can't even meet our attorney. And if you do Zoom call, I'm in another room, I can see what you're saying. So what about we agree to how we're going to get divorced? So I think it's going to be more civil. So
yeah, no, I think so too. But a lot of people are definitely ready to go after being cooped up for so long.
Yeah, a lot of people were together for wrong reasons to begin with. So
right, for sure. Well, now we're going to go down a total different rabbit hole on the show. But so Harma, here's a question I have for you. I mean, you've done a lot in your business and your career and your life, and kind of at this point for you, what is motivating you? Because I see you as a very motivated, very disciplined person. What is really motivating you to keep accomplishing more and more in your life?
Not money. The reason I know that, because someone made me self-discover that 2 weeks ago. It is definitely not money. maybe just because I had a fucked up growing up, I had not the best childhood, I don't know, but I think what gets me high is when I have more followers. So, which you can't have followers unless you have an impact on people's lives. And you can make impact on people's lives if you're not genuine. So what motivates me is to stay in my comfort zone, do what I'm good at, and don't promise something and not deliver, and genuinely care. Otherwise, they smell the lies and ends. I don't know what I want to do next, in a sense. A lot of people want to do something different all the time. I don't know if I want to do something different. I don't know anything besides real estate, but I do know that whatever I do, I don't want to be the only one having organic food. I want my people around me to have organic food. If I am deciding that I want to have good vacations, I want my staff to have good vacations, whatever that is. It's not just me, because together we will get far. Alone, I seen it with, again, some other people. I don't want to go alone. So I'm very grateful that I have a great relationship at home. I have family that I'm fulfilled with what I have. If I have more, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't need another property or car or t-shirt, but what it will be, my drive is like, who is going to be in my camp? And that's, honestly, it's really turns me excited.
I think that's awesome, Harma. That's fantastic. You know, it's interesting. I think whenever I talk to like newer agents, they're always driven by money and deals and stuff. And then I talk to people who are more successful, and I get, you know, an answer more similar to yours. So it's always really interesting for me.
It's very funny you said that. I have a video coming up. I have Stephanie Batatko, Dennis Chernoff, and Eric Delgado. They all make $3 to $3 million a year, GCI. And we talked about what makes them excited. And they all talked about winning. It's never like, how much money will I make if I win? It's about, am I winning that listing? Am I the guy taking the listing? Am I the one having the impact, and I'm going to be the number one, or in whatever category they like? No one of them said the money. And anyone who thinks about money, and I in recruiting, the same thing. If you come into my company for money, you will leave for money. So do not come in, because I'm not going to try to retain you.
Yeah, that's right. I think that makes perfect sense. You know, as to what you you know, you're absolutely right. That's what I meant to say. Good stuff, Harma. Well, hey, let me ask you this. You know, if you were talking to someone who's, let's say, brand new, and our channel focuses on, you know, not just real estate, but, you know, business as well, and you're talking to someone kind of brand new, what would you say if you had to boil down kind of your secret sauce or your secrets to success that you could impart on them so that they could become successful faster? What would that be?
God, I have a lot. Number one, you know, I'll give you an example before I say something. I met families that they believe that the kids don't need vaccinations, right? And they are basically saying, we don't need it. And they're not trying to be as smart as their doctors. They're actually replacing their doctors. So when someone gets in real estate and they've been in the business 6 months, 6 years, don't try to replace the number one agent. You're not qualified. So stop trying to come up with ideas. Real estate doesn't work on ideas. I never met anyone who has an idea that worked. So idea is work hard, get clients, build a relationship, and then 30 years from now, you will have a solid book of business. So number one, don't come up with an idea. Edison had an idea and worked, thank God, but you don't need an idea. Number two is don't reinvent the wheel, copy someone else. Number three, do not think about how much you make, think about how much you keep. How do you get there faster? I don't know if there's a path to success faster, because if you're new in the business and you made $200,000 and you kept most of it and you have people to rave about you, then you're new to the business, you made $500,000, but no one cares about you, and you will not make that next year. Who cares? So I don't know how the faster will work. Besides that, 25% of your income has to apply to education. So whether you watch Danny's show, you hire Danny for 6 months and invest in your future. Because you cannot do this alone. And who you're in business with as a broker, your mentor, because your mentor, as you know, a lot of people join a team and they're like, oh, you like horses, I like horses. Hey, great, let's get married. We can build a team together. That's just not a team. I think it's who you're in business with can actually demolish your entire path to real estate. So pick the right mentor, team, broker, keep your money. Don't buy a new car, a new watch, because no one cares about your watch. They're not going to buy a house because of your watch. And just FYI, I've done it. I bought a convertible car and I thought it's the hottest thing on the boulevard, and the wrong thing to do. And the last thing I will say, that whatever you do, unsolicited opinion is not welcome. So shut up. No one is asking for your opinion if they haven't talked to you. So don't give opinion. So we intend to know it all now with social media and that what we have access to. We think we know it all. You just don't know it all. And now that COVID-19 came, I'm very excited. One element of this COVID-19 has helped experts shine. So stop talking if you don't know. If you just because you watch Fox or CNN, you don't know COVID. They don't know what COVID is. So stop watching and translate in your opinion. But I will tell you, what, as a broker of an office with 340 agents, we have closed 80 transactions last month in April. I know what price range are selling. I know what you need to do to sell a transaction. I will still never sit in front of a camera and give an advice. So stop giving advice and take advice from the qualified people and implement in your business and get a coach.
Great advice, Harma. I love that. If I can just quickly go back to the first thing you said, which was don't come up with ideas. If we can expand on that a little bit, you don't mean like don't have any ideas. What you're saying is really don't try to reinvent the wheel and come up with all your own stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I have an agent met me recently and said, I have an idea to work with people that their family might be in trouble. And I was like, well, whose idea was that? It was like mine. I said, what about you don't work with people that have a family in trouble? You work with people that are in trouble. He was trying to come up with something that he doesn't himself directly have to go after that. That is the reinventing the wheel. That's sorry, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I don't know if you're going to remain with our company, but it's a stupid idea. Idea is you look at the top 5% of the office, which is, I have 25 of them. They're making really good amount of money and they're working, they're struggling, they work hard. Find out what they're doing and do exactly what they're doing, because new ideas don't work. You don't have to be the new guy on the block with a new idea. Zillow has a new idea, Truly has a new idea, Redfin has a new idea, and they are now the COVID-19, they're struggling. Everybody has a new idea, but that new idea to go far, it's very expensive. And I think you can make a lot of profitable business by not reinventing the wheel, as you said, and stick to what's working.
Yeah, I love that advice, Harma. And, your second point about keeping your money, one of the things that I learned the hard way and that I, now coach to is that it's all about, profit. Is your business profitable? Because I know so many business people that they do a lot in high, top level revenue, real estate and other businesses. And then you go down and you're like, well, what are you keeping? And it's like nothing, so that's such a great point. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Well, and in our business, if not more than 80% of people in real estate are not business people. I give an example. I have a friend, I'm not going to name who, dentist. One dentist, one dental hygiene, one assistant. He goes home at 5. Solid dentist, doesn't see anyone else. Then I have another dentist who doesn't do the work. He has 9 other dentists. They work in the same office that he owns, but he's not the actual dentist. So his name is nowhere to be found. The one run a very good business, and the one has to do the work. They're very good in knowing what they're good at. So as a real estate agent, just because you are real estate doesn't mean you're a business owner. So, but you are. When you're a real estate agent, you own your own business. But when you spend the money, or you don't have a budget, or you don't understand where the source is coming from, and you throw money to fix the issue. So, and I have done it. I'm not here to say I don't know. 5 years in the business, I got a call. There's something called taxes that you have to pay, which I was like, what do you mean? What taxes? You know? And then I was like, oh my God. So I didn't make that much. I can't even afford a Toyota. So, and I didn't know. And I think it's very important to learn how to run a business. And that's one of the reasons that I was very grateful to read the book, as you know, the MREA book and so many other budget books. And it was a habit. You have to create a habit to stay in a budget is the most difficult thing to do. But, or a lot of attorneys will open their own place. And as you know, and they're like, okay, now I have to go build the hours and I have to run the office. 2 different roles, and you got to be a smart businessman to keep your money.
Totally, Harma. And I've done a couple videos on a book called Profit First. You can check it out. We'll put the link up there. Have you read that book by any chance?
No, I have not.
It's a fantastic book. And, we transformed, when I read it, we kind of changed the way we do business, and we hired a Profit First professional CPA. And it's a very simple concept of cash flow management. It's like, hey, like you said, taxes. Well, when you get the commission check, you put aside money in a separate account for taxes that you're not going to see. And so actually I'm proud of this, and I'm not proud of it. This year is the first time that we filed our taxes on time, and they weren't even due.
That's exactly. And they postponed it. And I love it. I honestly, I just been this last few years that I caught up that it feels good to put aside, and here you go. I'm done for that year. I don't want to be, I'm very lucky. As a business owner, I get audited every year, and I think it's amazing. I think I have the highest accountability ever, and I just don't want to be late. I book everything by the book. I'm like, please audit me. They actually asked me if they can use my taxes. They will, black out my name for his case study for a training. And I said, please, because in real estate, you can have certain hours because I have properties that I manage my own hours. And I was like, but I didn't get there easy. It was 5 years of audio. I'm like, oh my God, I did that wrong. And so if you are watching our videos right now and you are like, I don't know, it's okay. But if you do it and you learn out of it, is better than actually do nothing or be cautious the entire time. And that's how I learned. That's how I learned my lessons.
Very cool, Harma. Such good stuff. I think those 3 things that you just gave our audience are just gold, and everyone would be very well to rewind and watch it again and listen to those 3 pieces of advice, because they were great. Well, Harma, so far, I got to tell you, this has been fantastic, and I've so enjoyed having you on the show. What we're going to do next is my lightning round of questions, which I have not prepared you for, right? I didn't give them to you in advance.
No.
So we're going to have some fun.
Yeah,
That's right. We're going to have some fun. No, we did give you some stuff, but it was in general. Yeah. They didn't pass it on to you. So here's the rules of the lightning round. I'm going to ask you some questions, and you can tell us the first thing that comes to mind. You don't have to expand on it. You don't have to explain it. You can just tell us whatever answer you want. They're all fun. And the whole goal of this, you guys, is for us to really get to see kind of behind the scenes of what makes Harma tick and what makes him successful, and some cool personality stuff. So you ready for the lightning round?
No, but go ahead.
All right, here we go, Harma. Question number 1 is, what is your superpower?
I read people.
I like that. I'm not going to ask you what you're reading right now. Here we go. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Doctor.
Oh, there you go. Doctor. Wait, doctor.
Surgeon.
Engineer.
Surgeon.
I love it. Good stuff. Okay. What profession other than your own would you want to try right now?
Well, not right now, but fishing. Fisherman, professional fisherman.
Very cool. I would have never guessed, by the way.
I'm the first gay man likes fishing. Go ahead.
I thought you were going to say the first Persian. I would have never guessed. Okay. What car best embodies your personality?
SL 550 that I have.
Perfect. I like it. What natural gift would you most like to possess?
That I don't have.
Yes. That you don't already have.
Keep it calm or cool it down fast versus be reactive. I work every day very hard to be not reactive. I wish I didn't have to.
All right. Very cool. Harma, I can't remember. Do you play golf?
No, I'm actually learning though.
Are you?
I am learning.
Okay.
I thought it would be very hard for me to focus with my ADD and just want to get it done. And they said, you can't drink and you can't have a phone. I'm like, oh my God, what kind of game is that? But then I'm actually, for some reason, I'm liking it a lot. And yeah.
Wait, who said you can't drink?
The guy that I hired, he goes like, you don't go and play golf and you drink. I'm like, why not? Like, it's the most boring thing. You have to focus on 7 holes at the same. I cannot. I gotta drink.
You got to switch coaches, man.
I do.
Drinking,
but let me learn enough so I can be with you.
All right.
Because I don't want to embarrass myself.
All right, Harma. So when they make a movie about your life, who's gonna play you?
You know what? Jack Dagger.
Who's that?
It's in my team. He knows me the best. So I think
this Jack, he's going to play you in the... No one's going to know who that is.
Exactly. You want the actor. Timothy Calmet. I think that's how he pronounced the last name.
I don't know who that is, but we're going to put it up on the screen. We're going to find it, and we're going to throw it up when you see that answer. All right? Yeah. Okay, last question. You ready? This is a good one. My favorite question. Well, my favorite question is the car question that you didn't like, actually. But here we go. If you ruled the world, what's the first thing you would do?
If I get to do that, I will bring the best leaders of every top companies with the best, like in any company that studies the people want to be belong to, they take care of their staff, the employees. I'll bring the best leaders and CEOs of every company and create a board that they will be responsible for that country, and then reconnect them the entire world. Because I think if you look very carefully, and every CEO is performing really well and they get praise on how they treat their employees, they all have the same element. So I wouldn't want to rule it. I will bring all of them together and create a common rule that it will apply to everyone, no matter what part of the world you are, and just try to be more united, because I think we're more divided than we were before.
That's a great answer, Harma. Give it back to the people, like in Gladiator.
Absolutely. Yeah. And not be responsible for it.
I like it. I like it. Well, Harma, I got to tell you, this has just been amazing. I think you've given everyone watching, whether you're in real estate or business or finance or whatever profession you're in, just such great advice and stuff that you guys can actually apply to what you are doing. So before we go, Harma, is there anything else that you want to impart upon our audience or tell them that I might not have asked you about that you really want them to know before we wrap up?
No, I will say that every time you meet someone new, try to get to know their story before you make any judgment or comment, because everybody comes out, has a story, somehow the way they were raised, where they're from, what they've gone through. So don't judge them just because the first 30 seconds. Try to get to know people, and don't take advice from someone who's not qualified. That's all I have to say.
I love it, Harma. Well, thanks again for being on the show today. We so appreciate you. Again, you guys, all the links are down below, and you can check out Harma's new YouTube channel. Go subscribe and like his videos. Like he said, he wants more followers. That's where we want you to start.
Yes, yes.
And thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
All right, you guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that interview as much as I did, and I hope you got as much value out of it as I did. Now, the key to this is not just to take this information and move on to what you're doing next. The key is to implement and execute. So right now, if you're still here watching the show, I want you to write down one thing that you are going to do from the interview with Harma. One thing that you're gonna implement right now, and go do it after this interview's over, after you've liked it, after you've subscribed to the channel. If you're not yet a subscriber, go do that one thing, implement it in your business, implement it in your life. I hope you enjoyed the interview, and I'll see you in the next video.